In today's video, you're going to learn about 10 new items that are looking super broken for Season 14. Not only will we be covering 10 of the most OP items, but we'll also give you guys a bunch of champions that we think will be most optimal with each one. But before we get into it, be sure to check out SkillCapped if you want to truly get better at League of Legends. We're the only service that offers a money-back guarantee if you don't climb at least 5 divisions while actively using our service. We do this because our service really does work, and if it doesn't work for you, you shouldn't pay. Learn more at the end of this video or click the link in the description below. The champions that can abuse Voltaic Cyclosword to its limits are going to be absolutely insane. The item provides AD, lethality, and haste, but it's the passive that pushes it over the top. The passive provides you with an energized attack that not only deals damage, but also slows the enemy, and this energized attack can be stacked faster by using a dash or going stealth. From playing on the PvE, Kha'Zix was one champion who really stood out as a frontrunner to succeed with Voltaic. At level 6, you got the stealth charges from R combined with the dash from E, so getting multiple procs of Voltaic's passive off in a skirmish is very reliable. Of course, the obvious champion to win out with Voltaic is Rengar. If you get a lead early on and can invade the enemy with Voltaic completed, there's no way you're losing out in the 1v1. Kindred is one to watch as well because with the low cooldown on her Q, she'll be able to proc the passive quite consistently. Burst mages are looking really scary as Stormsurge takes the meaning of one shot to a whole nother level. You can see in this clip here how the Elise literally misses her E, doesn't even use Q in human form, and practically one-shots the Kindred, who is a level up just with her spider form Q and a few autos. If this were with any other item, Kindred would have escaped with a sliver of health, but the Stormsurge passive proc comes in to finish her off. The lethal range for certain champions is just amplified greatly due to the passive on Stormsurge. Now, the item does not provide you with any mana, so it's likely not a rush for a lot of mages. However, as a second purchase, the mid-game spike will be massive. Now, the real one-shot build for Season 14 will consist of a Stormsurge in combination with Shadow Flame. Both items will provide Magic Pen, and the passives synergize incredibly well together. The passive on Shadow Flame provides you with crit when the enemy is low on health, while the passive from Stormsurge deals bonus damage if you chunk 35% of their health bar. The new Shadow Flame will also provide 120 AP, which is up by 20 from what it was in Season 13. Now, neither Stormsurge or Shadow Flame will provide any health, so you will be more vulnerable, but the reward for executing well with these items will be huge. Mages with high burst potential like LeBlanc, Syndra, Zoe, Lux, and Annie are the frontrunners to dominate with Stormsurge and Shadow Flame. One item that is looking like a staple on many of the mid lane mages and the perfect rush option is called Ludens Companion. Ludens Companion will give you AP, haste, and mana while providing a similar passive to the old Ludens, where you gain a charge that can be procced on the enemy for added damage. One of the big reasons to why Ludens will appeal to a vast majority of mid lane mages is because it provides the 3 key stats they want in AP, haste, and mana. Liandrys, for example, does not provide any mana or haste now, so rushing the item won't be viable on a lot of champs. Crown of the Shattered Queen is also being completely removed from the game, so that's no longer an option. Malignance is one of the other new mage items that provides AP, haste, and mana. However, its passive provides you with more damage on your ultimate usage, which will be great for certain champs like Anivia or Swain, but likely won't be as OP as Ludens when it comes down to catering to a wide variety of mages. The passive on Ludens will be way more consistent over the course of an extended fight for most mages, since it's not tied to needing to use your ultimate. We expect for Ludens to be one of the most purchased mage items in the game, as champions like Syndra, Orianna, and Ahri will be amazing with it. Basically, any mage that does not want Rod of Ages but still needs the mana sustain will be picking up Ludens. All of the new support items are looking incredibly strong, but one that really stands out is the AD support upgrade called Bloodsong. Bloodsong is going to give you bonus on hit damage and also amplify damage dealt by your teammates on the target you are attacking. Think of it like an AD version of the Even Shroud passive. However, instead of CCing the enemy to proc the passive, all you gotta do is hit them with an ability. This item feels incredibly strong on Senna because she's able to proc the passive very easily with her Q. If there's ever a time for ADCs to come back into the meta as supports, Bloodsong will be the sole reason for it. Over this past year, we saw pros pulling out Caitlyn and Jhin in the support role, and Bloodsong could really enable them. Definitely watch out for Senna at the start of Season 14 though, as we expect her to be one of the best users of Bloodsong. Terminus is the new ADC item that provides attack speed, AD, and on-hit magic damage. The passive is very interesting because it provides you with stacking armor and magic resist, along with stacking armor and magic penetration. The fact that magic and armor pen can stack up to 30% will make the item that nuts in drawn-out fights. Kog'Maw's W deals bonus magic damage, so being able to get 30% 100% magic pen will make his autos hit incredibly hard. Terminus should be perfect for Varus because the ramping magic pen will make finishing off targets with his WQ that much easier. If you're unaware, Varus's normal Q deals physical damage, but his WQ deals percent health magic damage. When you're trying to mow down a tankier target, the percent magic pen from Terminus will help immensely in being able to finish them off. One top lane champ we expect to have great potential with Terminus is Kayle. If you want to play AD Kayle, you'll now have another item you can slot in along with Kraken Slayer, Rage Blade, and Blade of the Ruined King. On-hit builds in general, when maxed out, should become much more lethal this season due to the introduction of Terminus. Malignance is one of the new mage items that will be a phenomenal rush on a few champions. The passive provides ability haste for your ultimate's cooldown and deals bonus damage when you hit the enemy with your R. Malzahar was one champion who seemed really strong with this one while playing on the PBE. The item really amplifies that press R to win identity that Malzahar brings and makes capitalizing on catch plays that much easier. Now, there's literally no cooldown on the bonus damage that you get for using your ultimate, so Anivia and Swain will be the best abusers of Malignance. Anivia with Malignance, Archangels, and Liandrys is a 3-item core that we expect to be extremely powerful. There's just so much burn potential coming out of both Malignance and Liandrys. Speaking of Liandrys, although the item's name is the exact same, it's a completely new item because of how much Riot has changed it. Riot has removed the mana and haste from Liandrys, but has given it more AP, and health is now back on the item. The ramping damage for being in combat with enemies is also back on the item, so Liandrys is that true battle mage pickup once again. Watch out for Rumble at the start of Season 14, as rushing Liandrys is now back on the menu and will make his mid-game incredibly strong. Now that Demonic Embrace is being removed, champions that like the item are going to be loving the new Liandrys. Lilia, Singed, Amumu, Udyr, Maokai, Malzahar, Mordekaiser, Brand, Zyra, and of course Rumble are a bunch of champions that should thrive with Liandrys. Rumble is likely one of the few champions that actually rushes the item since he doesn't rely on mana, but because Liandrys does not offer mana anymore, it's going to be better suited as a second or third pickup on many other champs. Rocketbelt is being completely revamped for Season 14, and it's going to be such a perfect pickup on a bunch of champions. The item will now only cost 2,500 gold, however the AP is down, magic pen is gone, while health is increased. So overall, it's a much cheaper spike, and in combination with Rylai's will be a super nuts 2-item core for the likes of Mordekaiser. Rylai's is only 2,600 gold, and now with Rocketbelt being 700 gold cheaper, your mid-game spike will come much sooner. Any AP champions who want that bit of added durability in their builds for a cheap price should love this new version of Rocketbelt. Echo being able to get to his 3-item core faster should be a huge win for him. Now, you may be worried about the fact the item only offers 60 AP instead of 90, but you have to realize the 700 gold you're saving can go towards something like an Amped Home to easily make up for that while having the active available from Rocketbelt much faster. Just being able to complete your core build faster will really feel nice for a lot of champions. Wits End is getting a mini rework for Season 14 and it's looking pretty nuts. Riot's removing the AD from the item, but adding in 20% tenacity. The magic resist and attack speed are both going up though as well. Wits End has always been a great pickup to counter comps with heavier magic damage, and it will become even stronger in that regard for Season 14. Champs like Aurelia and Master Yi are largely gated by the fact that team fighting can be very difficult if the enemy comp has heavy CC. Wits End can now help with that tremendously and give those champions a much more consistent team fight. One of the new tank items being introduced for Season 14 is Kaenic Rookern, and it's the hard counter to AP heavy comps. The item provides 80 magic resist, which is by far the most MR that any item has. For comparison, Spirit Visage has 60 magic resist, and it is the second most MR for any tank item, so a 20 magic resist difference. Now, not only do you get an immense amount of magic resist from Rookern, you also get a magic shield that scales off your health. This shield can get upwards of 600 health in the mid to late game when you have a few items completed. If the enemy team is completely worthless other than one AP carry who got extremely fed, being able to shut them down by running Kaenic Rookern will be really easy. Tanks have lacked that big ticket magic resist item to counter heavy AP comps, but with the addition of Kaenic Rookern, that won't be the case anymore. Alright guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little more about Skill Capped. So, we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered that, right? Not us. We've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium league guides on the internet. We add over 20 videos a week, with over 1,600 guides curated into over 100 courses no one can compare. We've also sent Challenger players into ELO Hell 714 times and counting, where they commentate how to carry live. They also respond to all questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $6.99 a month if you are serious about improving. So there you have it guys, 10 items that are looking super broken heading into Season 14. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you back soon.